Please stand for music. You may be seated. Our quote today comes from Madonna Thunderhawk. When you're struggling to maintain what you have, it's important that each generation know what the last generation did and learn from that. So when it's their turn, they can stand strong. They'll know what happened in the past through our own eyes, our own writing, our own telling. Madonna Thunderhawk, a leader, boarding school survivor, and lifelong activist, advocates for Indigenous communities across the continent and globe. She has fought for Native justice, from child custody to pipeline battles, for over 50 years, and she is still fighting at almost 80 years old. In her 20s, Thunderhawk became a member of the American Indian Movement, AIM, and the Native American Power Movement, and she occupied Alcatraz. In 1973, she became a member of the PI Patrol at Wounded Knee, and later a member of the Wounded Knee Legal Defense Team. In order to help Native children pushed out of public school learn their culture, Thunderhawk established the We Will Remember Survival School in 1974. She is also the co-founder of Women of All Red Nations and the Black Hills Alliance, groups that confronted the intersectionality of issues facing Native women and investigated uranium mining in the sacred Black Hills, respectively. Most recently, Thunderhawk is the subject of a documentary called Warrior Women, which recounts her past and follows her from Wounded Knee to Standing Rock. A force to be reckoned with, Madonna Thunderhawk continues to rise in pursuit of social and environmental justice for all Indigenous people. Good morning. Today is Wednesday, November 18th, and I'd like to bring up Katie to talk about our holiday today.
Hi. Today is National Education Support Professionals Day. So this day honors the contributions of school support employees. These support professionals provide invaluable services and are essential partners in a child's education. The day honors a long list of professionals who keep schools running smoothly. They include all secretaries, classroom aides, cafeteria workers, maintenance workers, bus drivers, and the others that support educators, school leadership, and the students too. These professionals do their part in making schools great for every child so they can be safe, learn, grow, and achieve. So to all of our school support professionals, thank you.
And now I'd like to bring up Lauren to tell us our On This Day in History facts and our joke.
In 1928, Walt Disney's Steamboat Willie released its first Mickey Mouse sound cartoon. In 1936, the main span of the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco was joined. And in 2011, the X Factor group One Direction released their debut album, Up All Night, in Ireland and the UK. It was really a monumental day, guys. And now for the pun. What did the ocean say to the shore?
What, Lauren?
Nothing, it just waved.
Thank you. Today for lunch is a boxed lunch, so surprise, you'll find out when you get downstairs. And now we have a senior presentation by Clara Murphy.
I find myself wanting to know people's trauma right away. I try to hold back and let our relationship build, but sometimes I can't stop myself. I want you to tell me everything that's made you cry in the last 10 days, the first time you thought your mental illness would take over your life, and your favorite pair of shoes. Shoe game and trauma will tell you a lot about a person. My screening process is simple, but it works for me. If your favorite pair of shoes are some old Crocs that you got in 7th grade and wear to and from swim practice, I'll think you're sensible but cheap. Sneakers do more. However, if you collect sneakers, you probably have a superiority complex. I've judged people based on their shoe choice for as long as I can remember, however mean that might sound, but it lets me know how much I can trust a person and gives me some basic knowledge about them. If If you wear boots, especially knee highs, I'll think that you very badly want some control in your life, and perhaps want to be an authority figure to others because of the need for control. You see, it works in my brain, and however bad it may sound to say out loud, I continue to make these brash judgments. Once you've been through some trauma in your life, you start to see your same situation in others. You recognize little things about the other person that you wouldn't have if you hadn't felt the exact same way before in your own life. For example, I'll start to worry about someone if I see them blankly staring at the wall in class, or the little micro-wincing people do with their eyes when the world is too much for them at that moment. However good people are at hiding their emotions, there are always the tiniest telltale signs that someone is going through a rough time. All of my extensive research and knowledge on micro-actions of traumatic behavior has led me to one conclusion. People who wear fake Birkenstocks have it the worst. They have the real gritty stuff that hurts them all the way through and back again. Trauma is real and it really does hurt people. There's no limit to what trauma can mean to a person. It can be a relationship with a friend or a family member. It can be a tragic death. It can be looking in the mirror and not recognizing the person you see anymore. It can feel like alienation from your own body and living in the world like you're going through a dream. I think the only way for us to release the anger, sadness, and general hurt that trauma gives us is through expression. And while I love to collect sneakers, I also love music. Music has been one of my outlets since I was in 3rd grade, and we learned to play recorder for the very first time. I started to see my body in a different way. My fingers are powerful. They cover the holes in this piece of plastic to play something that comes from my own wind. I'm creating this, it is me. Some of the most difficult times in my life have been guided through music. On Thanksgiving of 2018, my 5-year-old cousin James was killed in an accident. One of my counselors called this a premature death. Then my mother's friend passed away, leaving behind a son and a husband, another premature death. Then last summer, a boy I had gone to middle school with passed away, another premature death. I watched them all grow up right alongside me, and there they were, gone. An almost little brother, an aunt figure, and an old friend who I suddenly would never see again. I spent days in bed wondering where they've gone. I visited James's grave for the first time this year, in late April, early May. The virus had hit a few weeks before, and once I was able to leave my house again, I knew I needed to see him, except it wasn't him. The grass had grown over the spot we had buried him in his tiny casket months before. The saying, funerals are for the living, is true. There's no other memory that hits as deep and helps me process than his funeral, and the thing that made it stick out to me was the music. There were songs that I'd never heard before displayed with his face, ones that made me laugh, cry, and eventually fill with hope. Music has always been some sort of comfort to emotional distress, some sign of longing for the lonely, and a way to contribute your story to the never-ending cycle of art that keeps producing for long after we're gone. So now I'm going to play one of the songs that reminds me of him. Okay, this is Moon River by Frank Ocean. Moon River, wider than a mile. I'm crossing you in style someday. My dream maker, my heartbreaker, wherever you're going, I'm going that way. Two drifters off to see the world. There's such a crazy world to see. We're all chasing after all the same, chasing after our rainbows. Moon River, wider than a mile. crossing in style someday. My dream maker, my heartbreaker. Wherever you're going, I'm going the same. Two drifters off to see the world. It's such a crazy world you'll see. We're only chasing after our end, chasing after our end. Life's just around the bend, my friend. Moon river and me.
Thank you for sharing that, Clara. And now we have a senior presentation by Becca Dunklin.
The cool air from the vents dances across my neck, sending waves of anxiety through my body. I'm sitting in the backstage at my first Buffalo Seminary Theater production. I wait for my cue in energetic silence. The actress finishes her lines, and I see the lights dim. The fear, which has formed a tight knot in my stomach, weighs my body down as I drag myself to the stage. I reach the curtains and step out into the darkness. And then, in a great moment of surprise, I realize that no one can see me in my black clothes. I'm a ninja. Quickly, I place the bench down in the correct spot, as I've practiced so many times before, and I exit the stage. The lights come up and the show goes on. This is my magic trick. No one knew I was ever there, but voila, a bench. These were the first of many future steps into the welcoming invisibility of my theatrical job. Since that night, almost exactly 3 years ago, I've been a member of stage crew for most of the shows during my time at SEM. And my parents, who have been to every show, have not seen me once. I love the anonymity and the simplicity of being on stage crew. But I wanted to explore more advanced roles like this. So, at the start of my second year at SEM, I was able to exchange my title as professional ninja for a new one, stage manager. Stage management allowed me to devote more time to the production and take on a management role without being on the actual stage. I could relish in the collaboration and problem solving that comes with stage crew, but at a higher level. Before this, I had no idea I could be involved in theater in other ways than on the stage. By now, you may have inferred from these roles that I don't like being the center of attention, and to that I say, good job, audience. It's no secret that I'm an introvert. It's not only that I feel awkward talking to people sometimes, but it's also that I draw energy from alone time. I actually love talking to people, but the social world can be draining. I've always struggled to find my place in a world built for extroverts, and it wasn't until joining theater that I realized that I didn't need to conform to others' expectations or fit into the cool kid crowd. I learned to draw strength from these quiet moments backstage. Instead of making me anxious, the electric silence gave me excitement and adrenaline. It was a space for an introvert like me to recharge. Soon I brought this realization to the rest of my life. I didn't have to be an actor, an SGA president, or captain of the soccer team, although those are great things to be. I could be the quiet stage manager. I could be a member of the AV club, supporting a morning meeting from behind the scenes. And even in class, in Harknesses, I could act as a support to those who needed it. I realized that there was a space for me, and, my fellow introverts, there's a space for you too. An alumna of my middle school spoke at my 8th grade graduation and said something impactful that resonates to this day. She said something like, There is much going on in the outside world, but the most valuable thing that you can pursue is the development of a rich internal life. My 14-year-old self thought she was talking about digestive health. However, the message is that your personality, interests, and ideas are worthy investments. This idea appeared in sophomore English. We learned about cultural capital, which is the accumulation of cultural knowledge used as a currency to demonstrate cultural competence and social status. It's more of an external tool than internal, but I still stand by it. I firmly believe in the development of your interests and internal life. I mean, you're stuck in your body and brain, so why not decorate the interior brain space with posters and knowledge of the things you love? Teenage girls are often criticized for enjoying the things they love. Whether it be that you love wearing Crocs, do TikTok dances, or browse JSTOR at 2 a.m., do what you love. It's a way to rebel against a system that doesn't want you to be happy. Everyone has different interests and ways of socializing, and these differences are what makes the world a beautiful place. However, to those who similarly interact with this world, this is my message to you. Dear fellow introverts, especially underclassmen, take time to develop your rich internal life. This message applies to extroverts as well, but as introverts, we spend a lot of time inside our heads. This can be challenging in an extrovert's world where we're expected to crawl out of our brains and perform against our nature. However, take pride in your introversion. Know that your voice and thoughts are worth hearing once you're ready. All the world's a stage, and we are stuck behind the curtains, but it's not a bad place to be. Right now, you might be standing backstage, the cool air dancing across your neck, sending waves of anxiety through your body, and that's okay. You will also find comfort in the electric silence, and one day, you will find your moment of invisibility too. Thank you.
Thank you, Becca. All right, do we have any faculty announcements? No, okay. Any student announcements?
Hi guys, so tonight Just Buffalo is hosting a virtual event with author, poet and essayist Anne Boyer. We are going to be reading Anne Boyer's book Undying, A Meditation on Modern Illness this upcoming break with Babbel. So if you're interested in reading that and would like to get a chance to learn a bit more about the author and hear her speak, I really suggest attending that event tonight. It's 7:30 to 8:30. If you have any questions, need help finding the link, or are just otherwise interested in participating in Babbel this break, feel free to email me, pjoseph@buffaloseminary.org. Thank you.
Do we have any other student announcements?
Hello, this is a reminder to please sign up for the community service event this weekend. It is Saturday, and it's a cleanup at the BSRA Ohio River area. It'll be really fun. You can bring your families and your friends, so please come. Dress warm.
Do we have any other student announcements? All right, well, I have an announcement. Guys, guess what today is? Colby O'Shea Artist Day. And guess what that means? May I have a drum roll, please? We are seeing Miss Cass's artwork. I know, I'm very excited. I hope everyone is excited and ready to see some amazing cartoons. Thank you. That is all I have. Have fun seeing Miss Cass's art show, and have a great rest of your day.